It's 8:30, we'll call the meeting to order. I get a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion second to adopt the agenda, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Everyone has a chance to peruse the minutes from the previous meeting.
Move we approve the minutes as presented. Second.
Motion second to approve the minutes as presented, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There is no audience, so.
I do have a question on the injury report. I was just wondering, Megan, do they, within the truck, do they carry any repellent with them or any stuff like that to spray on whenever they go into maybe an area like that?
Repellent
Yeah.
for
Like insect
ticks and
repellent
stuff,
or?
like-
Wall
Yeah,
spray.
we make that available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was a reaction to some sort of plant.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But it was very difficult to see anything in there. The area was so overgrown, so.
And that's what I, understand that. I thought, well, there could be, wasp or
Oh, yeah.
something like that, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead and jump into reports. Doug, good morning.
I'm doing.
Morning.
I do have an action item for you today. This is a budgeted item. It's for the West Substation relay and breaker testing. We did send out bids, request bids from 8 companies. We received a total of 3 bids back. The low bid from Electrical Reliability Services. This company has done work for us in the past under a different name. I did visit with the personnel and I'm confident that they can take care of that for us. So my recommendation now is for a motion to accept the bid from Electrical Reliability Services for West Substation relay and breaker testing for a total amount of $23,130.
Doug, I had a question. Up here in the action, it describes 16 SEL microprocessor relays, but in the bid tab, it says 13 SEL relays.
That's just a typo.
Oh, okay. So it is 16, and they actually bid, no,
They
they're
did.
16? Okay, all right.
I would move to accept the bid from Electric Reliability Services for the West Substation relay and breaker testing for a total of $23,130.
I'd second that.
Got a motion and a second to accept the bid from Electrical Reliability Services for West Substation relay and breaker testing for a total of $23,130. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. A couple updates. Southeast Substation, we completed some testing yesterday on circuit switcher, checking SCADA. We're just about complete on the testing. We're looking to energize that transformer potentially next week. So that project's moving. The underground project's moving well. The new underground primary secondary has been energized. The crew's working now on cutting services over to the underground circuit. So that project's moving along. Electricians have began installing the LED lights in electric distribution, so that project's ongoing. I don't have anything else unless you have any questions for me.
So we've been doing a lot of substation work here lately, Dale. We getting about up where we need them?
I hope so, yes.
Me too. I just wonder,
Yes, right.
anything else you see coming down that's?
Nope, I didn't anticipate anything else.
Good work. Any other questions for Doug? Thank you, Doug. Let's go to Grant.
Morning,
Bud.
gentlemen.
Morning.
Not a lot to add, just a couple updates. We did get the back to the results back from Clara. That main is hot and services are being swapped over as we speak. CIPP bids are due the June 21st. And we have moved all the equipment and we actually put a bucket in the ground on the alley between Arrow and North yesterday. So it's underway. We're kind of, it's going to be a slow process for a while with one dump truck, but with just putting services in, we're going to manage that and go ahead and get started. Other than that, that's all I have. Unless the board has any questions.
know something, I don't know why I thought of it, but our sewer cameras, that doing good?
It's doing real good. Knock on wood, since we got all the, it took a little, we had to get some training on it because the updated controls worked a little different, but it's done good.
Good. Any other questions for Grant? Thank you, Grant. Jared, morning.
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 Do have one update that I just received yesterday. Our circ water pumps for 10 and 11, they're still waiting on some parts, and they pushed that back another 2 weeks. So that's looking like late June now. We also ran Unit 6 Tuesday this week for 6 hours, and that ran well. Other than that, that's not all I have unless you have any questions.
I asked Jared this morning about predicting a lot of blackouts this summer. I don't know if you thought we were prepared enough to handle those in case we got called online. I think they're predicting quite a few of those that we now happen. But we could be affected by that, like we were once before. So make sure we're ready to go if we're called online. We're ready. Okay.
That was actually gonna be my question too, about Unit 7. Got anywhere with that?
I've got some engineers at Cummins that are trying to come up with some ideas that may end up having somebody come down and take a look at it. The good thing about it is it's at full load when it's generating, it's just fine. So it's just for a few seconds coming down. So they're not overly concerned about it. They're kind of leaning towards maybe an injector issue. Like everything else they've got. There's 16 injectors in that unit. There's 4 in the United States. There's 2 in Belgium. There's 2 somewhere else. So, but we may end up having somebody come down and take a look. They're looking into it to see what they think.
Is that the only one that you really got an issue with?
Yep. Yep.
Was 6 called online?
Yes. Yeah, it was called for Tuesday. Yep.
You just ran it or?
Yep. Yep. It was called on.
Any other questions for Jared? Thank you, sir. Eric, good morning.
Morning.
Eric. Morning.
I just had a few updates. Midwest Injection is on site now. They're hauling out of the North Basin. FTC was here on the 30th. They've got that last dry flow pump and rail installed and ready to go. And we're now back to normal shifts. We're caught up on all on our new aeration basin as well. And other than that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
First, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I did, the UV bulbs, have you made any progress with those?
Still kind of is between been working with Jim on that.
Yeah.
I think he's nailed down a few things.
Yeah, I think we've got more life than we thought we had. So we probably have another 2,000 hours, which I'm not sure if that'll get us through all the summer or not. But there's a couple of electronic parts that we probably need to get some spares and replace one. One of the issues is whenever the flow is over a certain amount, it kicks on all the bulbs for 6 hours minimum runtime, and if the flow even just blips to that same level again, it restarts that 6-hour timer. So there's some changes we could make that direction if we decide we want to go that way. We could try to smooth out the flow because it jumps around a whole lot. So we're making a few tweaks here and there, but I think instead of all 8 running, we've got 7 running now, so it's a little bit better.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Eric? Thank you, Eric. Travis.
Morning.
Morning.
Do have an update on the well treatment and maintenance project. They pulled out yesterday. They've completed everything except for well 9. When they did their inspection and everything, when they pulled that one, they did find a section of the drop pipe that had a hole in it. So basically they had to wait to get it. They're expecting probably about 3 weeks by the time they get it in the shop, and then it has epoxy coating inside and out and everything. So about 3 weeks and they'll be back and put it in and it'll be back in service. So, but other than that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Flow line break on 5, is that a line that leaves the well? or-
Yes. Yeah, I think it was an 8-inch line.
It's an 8-inch line.
Yeah, kind of the well maintenance guys showed up that morning and they seen the water gushing out of the ground. It's like, I seen them there when I was coming in. It's like, that's not a good sign. So,
In the area right where it goes under the tracks. So my assumption is that the ground settled in that casing and tweaked it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Got so dry.
Any other questions for Travis? Thank you, Travis. Jim, good morning.
Guys have blown in all the small fiber down the YY area, so they're up to about 13,000 feet in that area. Got the big cable left, which is probably either 3 or 4 blows, depending on if we try to go 7,000 feet on one of them or try to split it up. So we're making pretty good progress there. Pretty much finished in King area, a few resplices, and still working on our list. Got some decent weather, so they're buried 2 yesterday and tried to do 2 more today. So that's about all, unless you got questions.
How are we doing on all our parts and pieces?
We're in good shape for most everything. Fiber's been usually a lot shorter lead time than what they quote. We got, you see in our disbursements, we've got a big load of big cabinets in that should be enough for the whole project. Those are the ones that went up 50% in a couple of years, so we decided to just buy a bunch, so beat the inflation. Pedestals are the ones that are still really slow. We've got enough to get by for now, but I think there's still like 2 years on those, which is strange because everything else seems to shorten it back up. So.
Is that DDB unlimited?
Right, yeah.
Is that what,
Yeah.
okay, those are cabinets, okay.
We were, I was working out there at the car wash the other day when they were trying to get that fiber pulled in.
They have trouble?
I made fun of their fish tape pretty hard.
Did it?
Can we get them a 200-foot fiberglass tape that
Well,
would slide?
They've probably got one somewhere, just probably on a different truck, but yeah.
I was like, what are you doing with that thing?
Yeah. I think they usually end up breaking the fiberglass ones, so stick with the
You
nails.
can't put it on a tucker. So you gotta hold my hand. Yeah, other than that, the UV bulbs. So we've got about 2,000 hours left. I don't know if that's gonna get us to the summer. Is there
Yeah.
something we should do to be prepared for this? How long do those, what's the lead time on that
I
stuff?
believe they're rated at something like 13,000 hours, but their alarms are at 7,500 hours for max life, and we're currently about 5,500, 5,800, something like that. The first bank is always going to run, so those should, no matter what the flow is, the first pair always runs. But once we get some flow figured out, if we can do something with that 6-hour timer, I think that'll help. Those second, third pair of banks shouldn't have that many hours on it.
I just didn't know if we could do something to be a little more proactive instead of reactive on that, or.
There's a lot of the stuff, proprietary electronic stuff, so we're going to be dependent on them to get us quotes and whatever else for the spare parts and whatever. But the bolts themselves, yeah, that first pair is all you should be able to pretty much know how long they're going to last. But the second, third pair, it's going to be guessing game depending on your flow, so.
That's all I have. You got anything for Jim? Thank you, Jim. Megan, good morning.
Morning.
Do want to mention that the folks at the water treatment plant have gone 13 years without a reportable injury. Just want to congratulate them. And we're trying to chip away at some of the vacancies. We've got interviews scheduled for customer service. Got a summer hire started, another one working through pre-employment screening. And I think, other than that, I don't have anything to add, but I'll try to answer any questions.
13 years, that's no small accomplishment. So,
Yeah, please pass that along to your fellas.
We're going to try to fill Eric's position in-house. Megan,
Yes.
will that leave us one short?
Yes. When the dominoes, well, when the next domino falls, we'll be looking for an operator, plant operator.
On your PSH walkthrough, the recycle center, there's 4 items identified for corrections.
Mhm.
Safety items, mechanical,
Just safety stuff. We had an electrical cabinet. We needed to paint some yellow caution lines around. There was a bird nest that needed to be removed. I think there might have been a little bit of spillage in the bottom of a fire cabinet that was needing cleanup, just some minor things like that, and it's all been addressed, so.
Good. Any other questions for Megan? Thank you, Megan. Don't quite really know where to go to from here, guys. Guess we'll read this, and if you have any questions, we'll ask.
For the time of use stuff, the data we're sending off to TOF finished that up yesterday, so we should be able to send that off here this week, or first part next week. That was the 15 months of hourly readings from pretty much all the meters. Had to do a lot of tweaking to it, but it should be ready to go to TOF shortly.
Nice. They, I don't even know if you know the answers to these, but do they have an idea when they want to try to roll out the first little test piece?
I don't know. Have you heard anything on your meter program?
September, October, I think is when
Okay.
Jeff had talked about potentially doing
Did you get your meter program yet?
that. No, but I've talked to them about it. I'm supposed to have a conversation with them in July. A conversation with Fletcher Reinhardt.
We haven't put anything out on social media about any of this yet, have we?
just kind of an update on the meeting we had with the mayor. Myself, Tony, and Jeff met with Mayor Lutterby. And we just kind of had a review and showed him the financials on the utilities and what was each area and what the amount was within, I think that Tony had put that spreadsheet together over the last 5 years. And you know, just talk to him about if there's any opportunities to look at that differently and adjust. And he was, you know, he certainly didn't commit to anything, but he was open to it and agreed that he would get with the council and then we reconvene. So that's kind of where we left it at.
Jared, you attended the MOPAT meeting. Can you explain a little bit about that too? It's Greek to me, but
Some of it is still a little Greek to me as well. There's every member of MOPEP has a voting member that goes to the MPUA meetings. And there's multiple things discussed as far as, there's a couple of towns that were wanting to put more into the virtual ownership, where MoPep maybe takes a little more care of their units for them. Some units that are not, price compliant with EPA, discussing having MoPep help them with, getting those units rights compliant, things of that nature.
I was looking at the peaks. I'm not quite sure I understand
The pool has to have 15% over what our peaks are for generation. And that's getting to be smaller and smaller all the time.
that. It's decreasing instead of increasing.
Yep. Yep.
How close are we to that 15%?
It sounds pretty close.
Okay.
They don't give an exact number, but
Yeah.
enough that they're concerned.
Any other questions for the Tony and Jeff area? We'll move on to cash disbursements. Tony's not here to do that.
Yeah. I think I did see some invoicing here on that CIPP. Is that the final?
Well, there's about 7,000 retainage. They owe us some thumb drives with some inspection reports on them. So we're keeping a retainage until we receive those. But I think it's 7,200 or something like that.
Okay.
I move we pay cash disbursements.
Second.
Motion seconds for cash disbursements, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Pay bills. Any other business today? Do we need
Only if the board has questions. We can have a quick one if you'd like to.
Yeah, maybe a quick one and just.
Quick one.
For
Yeah, or
personnel
legal.
note,
legal or personnel?
for personnel note or both.
We'll just call it both.
Okay.
Okay.
So entertain a motion to adjourn. to the
I
executive
move we
session.
recess and go into executive session for legal and personnel reasons.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn for legal and personnel reasons, executive session.
Right. Becky, aye.
Chuck Hines, yes.
Steve Mills, yes. All right, all right.